Oh, hi there. And welcome back to another Bojinjin vlog. How y'all guys doing? I'm having a good day. As promised, this entry is going to be the second part to, or rather like the kind of extension to the previous entry, which is talking about, in the previous entry I talked about systematic love, which is an idea or a principle that you can use in your own attaining whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, because I know you're a fucking beast. I know you will succeed at whatever it is that you set your mind to. I'm sure of it. That was an idea that basically goes along the tune of you must have a systematic approach, but to understand that systematic approach is leading you closer to what you actually love, right? And that you should never do anything. You should never apply yourself to anything that isn't going to lead you to what you love, right? And this becomes like a positive spiral, if you will, that will like make you better, but also like make you more happy and fill you more, or give you more love, essentially, more passion. And in this entry, I want to talk about discovery, which is what I call finding new things, right? Because like whatever it is that we want to do, we need to be discovering new things. Like even life in general. Like if you're just sat at home all the time and not like trying new things, you slowly stagnate and like you become bored basically and like unmotivated. And so like discovery is quite important. I'm someone who's naturally poor at discovery and like naturally dislikes discovery because to me it feels like a chore. And you might also be that way, or you might be the kind of person who loves trying new things, who loves discovering things, like, and just, is always out and trying new things, because like, well, to me, like the thing, like discovery, because I kind of fancy myself as someone who has like very esoteric tastes, let's just say. Like I'm a bit picky, I'm very picky actually, with the things that I actually resonate with. And so like to me, like discovery means like wading through all of this shit that I don't care about. And it is mildly entertaining at best. And at worst it's just it's a fucking headache. Like I'm talking like mostly like I'm talking about, well, this applies to everything, this could be opportunities, events, social groups, whatever it might be, right? But like I'm also talking about like media, so like discovering new music, discovering new art, discovering new products, new services, new news sources, whatever it might be. Like we must discover new things, right? And so yeah. And in this entry, like I'm basically providing an idea that I have coined taste guidance discovery. And the idea is very similar to the previous entry, which is like, practicing and being systematic in a way that leads you directly to what you love, as opposed to like practicing things that you don't actually like, that don't actually help you, and thus you burn out, which is probably something I should have mentioned in the previous entry. This is what happens. Like, most of us, we practice things and then we burn out because like we're like, this is boring, I don't like this, I know I should, and you try and force yourself, but it doesn't work. So yeah, like always have your approach moving towards what you love. Don't waste your time doing something that doesn't interest you, right? Even if it is in the craft that you want to do. So in that, I gave an example of like, for example, piano. If you want to be a jazz pianist, don't waste your time like learning like loads and loads of classical pieces, like Baroque pieces, classical pieces, like, because like why if they're boring to you, why are you practicing them? Yeah, at the end of the day you might be able to play them, but like you'll be like, okay, well, do I really feel like I've fulfilled myself? Maybe not. So like it's a similar idea basically. It's like taste guidance discovery is essentially, like finding like discovery, because like if you don't discover, then like I said, you'll stagnate. And like I have this problem where like I'm just like I have like a very limited pool of stuff, and then like I kind of like keep listening to the same music and watching the same shows, and it's like I kind of slowly stagnate, and then like I need to find some new stuff, right? But like the trick here is again similar with systematic love. Like you're trying to discover things that are aligned with what you actually find good, what you actually like, what actually resonates with you. And so this involves essentially like, knowing what you like first and foremost, because like a lot of us, again, like the kind of tricksy thing with discovery. I don't know if this is the case I guess it is actually, but like I'm imagining that the people who are like just like always trying new things, like they kind of get a bit watered down, like their tastes get a bit watered down basically. Again, that's a bit of a judgment, but like and like yeah, if it is true, I don't know, we'll see. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, like like in my case, when I'm finding new things, like sometimes it can be a bit random, and that's cool because sometimes you just need to get the ball rolling. But like random discovery, no matter what it is, right? Whether that is finding new music, finding new shows, finding new news sources, finding new services or products, finding new social groups, dating, like an overly random approach, an indiscriminate approach is not the most effective past a certain point, because like, like you have a very, very small chance of actually finding what you like, right? And so the trick is to have a bit of both, right? Is to have a bit of both. And by have a bit of both, I mean, sometimes a bit of indiscriminate approach is good, like sometimes you never know, right? The thing is, you never know if you'll find something random that you might not normally have been able to find, but that you're like, oh, okay, actually this is pretty cool. I found a new genre or something, or a new type of thing that I'm into, right? So you need a bit of it, right? But like at the same time, like when you find the things that you like, look for places and sources that deal specifically with those things, right? So like if it's jazz music, like find jazz websites, or like find like playlists on Spotify or something, or Last FM with like the type of music that you like, jazz, right? If you like a particular type of anime, I like anime. Haven't watched much recently though, but like, but you like shoujo anime, the girly anime that's all about feelings and things, then like find subreddits or like forums or like categories on Crunchyroll or Go Anime or what, I'm just throwing random examples out that actually deal with the kind of thing that you like, right? And collect a bunch of like, amass, a ton of these sources, and then find something like like for example, like I use a news reader called NewsBlur, which is really cool. You can actually train that, and like it gives you more news with the kinds of keywords that you train it to find you, that you find interesting. And so like and then you can put all of these sources onto a news reader, and then like bam, you have like like one single discovery source you can go to, and like every day you're finding more and more stuff that you like, right? And it's like a snowball effect. So that's the idea, that's the idea. And so like the idea, again in summary, is to strike a balance between like sometimes just finding, you want to explore your city, so like you just you close your eyes and you like go, you point at the computer screen and you're like, okay, I'll go there, like, or you find a list of restaurants and you're like, okay, I'll just pick this one, right? And you try it, right? And it's random and it might be shit. It might be complete shit, but it also might be amazing. It might also be mediocre, like most of the shit out there, which is average, right? But like, but it's cool, you can do a bit of that, but then start to amass a collection of sources and places that cater for you, right? And like and like I'm still doing this, of course, but like slowly, little by little, like you'll start to build a like something that is like a discovery machine, right? And of course, this is mostly media, right? Or like things like that, news sources, right? Things that can be digitized. But like, if it's something like finding new places or meeting new people, then it's a similar approach, really. It's like, yeah, you can attend random social groups or meetups and like meet some cool people, and you never know, you might find that you're like suddenly a salsa enthusiast, or like an ecstatic dance enthusiast, or like a unicorn enthusiast. You never know, right? Sometimes you just need to try something completely wacky and zany and outlandish. But then, like, once you find those things that you love, like, like find more groups that ask people within that group to give you more sources of, like, where you can do more of that thing, or like or like, and take the opportunity to kind of really crystallize what you like, right? And this is a key step, right, which I'm going to wrap with, right? Basically, as you are discovering more and more, you're continually also refining what you like, right? And so like you're always kind of like identifying the things that you really resonate with, and then making those things like the new template for finding new things, right? If that makes sense. So like, and so the goal is to kind of make your life more and more a life that is all about what you love, right? And this sounds a bit like narcissistic and selfish and like hedonistic, but like, I don't know, like, I don't think I need to make the argument here, like on this channel, talking to whoever might be watching this, because I know that you want to live a life that you love to live. You don't necessarily want to become like a cubicle wraith, a cubicle poltergeist who's like on the verge of death, and like barely living. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want security if it means like living a life that is dull and grey and excruciatingly boring and uneventful. You want to do more stuff of what you want to do, more of what you love, right? And so like, this is how you do it, right? So cool. Hope that was helpful. I need to listen to my own advice and do more of this, honestly, because sometimes I'm like, I don't have time to like find new stuff, like, and yeah, you might have commitments and stuff, but like, it's a slow process, but like eventually it will pay off, so little by little, and you'll have setbacks, but that's cool. Allow yourself to have setbacks, because life is all about setbacks and how quickly you can spring back from them, but also get back to love, right? So this is the whole integrated thing. Just to wrap this up, right? The kind of underlying spiritual truth, you could say, is, or rather the principle behind this spiritual truth. The principle is integration. So like, your northern star is what you love. It is freedom, it is love, it is joy, it is curiosity. Like, you want to go as fucking far as you can stomach it before you throw up because you're having such a good time. Before you pass out, because like, life is so fucking awesome, right? That's where you want to take it, right? And that is what leads you in life. Make that your northern star. In life, I mentioned this, actually, I don't know if I think I did, yeah. I think I did. Why do anything, ultimately, that doesn't lead to your happiness? Think about it, Why? Why do anything that doesn't lead to your happiness, right? And so your happiness, your authenticity, because I linked being yourself as being essentially the key to happiness. Because if you can be yourself and discover more and more yourself, you are essentially a fucking unicorn on ecstasy. You know, you are. I don't know. I don't even take drugs. I don't even think I like drugs. But like, so I don't know why I use that analogy. But like, you will be like the fucking happiest person alive. You know. And so, have that as your guiding star, and then have these fucking ninja systems in place, and this fucking ninja work ethic, because it is all being fed by your love. You'll fucking rule the world, man, you know. So cool. Hope that was helpful. A bit of a perspective for you guys as usual, you know. Take me seriously or not take me seriously. But like, at the very least, I hope that you found it helpful. And I said something that was halfway cohesive and coherent. So cool. I hope you guys are having a great day as usual. And until next time, my friends.